Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today it's time for me to talk about my January book haul part 2. I'll link part 1 in the description box below, of course. This is the part with the book signing at the end as well. Now this book haul partially relates to last week's video, which is basically a monthly project that I've started to do with reading award-winning books. But unlike part 1 of this book haul, only part of these books are to do with that, only 4 of them actually in the dining table. The other 5 are related to something else that I've got in mind for next year, in fact. But it's the big project that I mentioned before in the video, but I'm not saying what it is yet. Although they're all good books anyway though, so I'm very happy to have all of them. The other link that these books have is that all but one of them were sent to me for free by the publisher, Gollands. Although that's mainly due and thanks to Stevie Finnegan, who is a fellow booktuber, and she happens to work for Gollands. And frankly, I was surprised when she actually mentioned on Twitter that she would actually be happy to send me some books. So I then had to decide which of the list of books for my various projects I actually applied for Gollands. And I'm really happy and indeed thankful to Stevie for these books because, well, I think it saved me a lot of money overall, to be honest. But they're ones that I really did want for various reasons. So there are 9 books in total in this video. 4 of them are related to my award-winning book project. And the first book I'm going to show you is the only one that I bought, although I didn't pay full price for it, of course. Because frankly, I always never pay full price for a book if I can avoid it. And that is Man Plus by Frederick Phol. This won the Nebula Award in 1976, and it's one that I've heard about over the years, and I've been wanting to read for some time. I've read 1 or 2 books by Phol in the past, and I thought they were quite odd and quite interesting, so I'm quite eager to get to this, and I'll read the back because I don't know much about this. Ill luck made Roger Torway the subject of the Man Plus programme. But it was deliberate biological engineering which turned him into a monster, a machine perfectly adapted to survive on Mars. For according to computer predictions, Mars is humankind's only alternative to extinction. But beneath his monstrous exterior, Torway still carries a man's capacity for suffering. So this explores what it means to be human, and obviously uses a science fiction setting to do it in, which is an additional science fiction idea, uses weird technology and weird environments to explore very human and very real concerns to us right here and right now. So I'm quite eager to get to this. The second book is The Child Garden by Geoff Ryman. This won the Arthur C. Clarke Award in 1990. Now I know very little about this book, or indeed nothing about the author itself, so I'll quickly read the back. London's semi-tropical climate means that it is now surrounded by paddy fields. Londoners, like plants, feed off the sun. The young, raised in child gardens, are educated by viruses. Okay, that's not. Information, culture, law and politics are biological functions. The consensus oversees the country, treating non-conformism. But Melina is different. She's resistant to the viruses, and she is capable of changing the world. That's not that surprising, really. A lot of science fiction books involve a person that can change society or the world. So yeah, this is exploring yet again everyday concerns, but using an unusual science fiction setting to do it. And obviously this is won an award, and I know it's quite well thought of. So yeah, and it's got a really nice cover, I think, as well. A very green cover. So I'm quite happy to get onto this. The third book is Stand on Zanzibar by John Brunner. This won the 1969 Hugo Award, as well as also winning the BSFA Award in that same year as well. Now, John Brunner is an author that I've read a few books of previously, and I've quite enjoyed them. He's got interesting ideas with an interesting writing style. This I've heard of before and heard many nice things about. I'll quickly read the back. There are 7 billion plus humans crowding the surface of 21st century Earth. It is an age of intelligent computers, mass market psychedelic drugs, politics conducted by assassination, scientists who burn incense to appease volcanoes, all the hysteria of a dangerously overcrowded world portrayed in a dazzlingly inventive style. So, yet again, another author who wrote in the near future, and by the sound of it, he got a few things right. You know, obviously, he predicted roughly the population, obviously the computers, the politics being conducted by an assassination. That's not currently a thing, although in our current political climate it may well be. You know, let's see. Hopefully not, but I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, this is an interesting one and a well thought of book. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So now we come to the non-award winning books, although they're all still really good. And they're all by female authors as well, these next four are. And the first one is The Long Tomorrow by Leigh Brackett. Now I've heard of Leigh Brackett before over the last few years, especially due to BookTube. This book is one of her most well-known books, and it sounds pretty interesting to me. No city, no town, no community of more than 1,000 people or 200 buildings to the square mile shall be built or permitted to exist anywhere in the United States of America. 30th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. 2 generations after the nuclear holocaust, rumours persist about a secret desert hideaway where scientists work to understand the forbidden past, even if it means threatening the future. Yet again, a post-apocalyptic novel exploring our society as it is now, or at least as it theoretically should be now, and saying what could happen if things got really bad. So, the author I really want to read as well, so I'm very happy with this. The 5th book is Arslan by M.J. Engh. M.J. Engh is actually the pseudonym for Mary Jane Engh. Now, this is one that I don't know very little about. I do know it is related to war in some way, frankly, but that's about the only thing I do know, and I'll read the back. General Arslan, okay, that explains the title somewhat, sweeps into Craftsville, Illinois as the conqueror of America and Russia, which is no small achievement for a warlord from the tiny state of Turkestan. And then the charismatic and utterly ruthless Arslan sets about changing the world from his base in the town. For Franklin Bond, the principal of the Craftsville School, this is the beginning of a crash course in power, politics, compromise and ambivalence. For Hunt Morgan, one of his students, it's a lesson in humiliation, subjugation and love. So yeah, this sounds like a curious one. I honestly had no idea what this is about, really, other than the fact that it fits in with a later purpose to do with one of my projects, so I did want to read it and own it. And obviously it's a masterworks. I really like masterworks, by the way, if you didn't know. The 6th book that I'm going to show you is Swastika by Murray Constantine. Murray Constantine is the pseudonym of Catherine Burdekin, who is an English author. Now this, I think, sounds like quite an interesting one, and frankly the cover as well could be quite indicative of what it's about, and indeed the title, Swastika Night. I'll quickly read the back. 700 years after Nazism achieved power, Hitler is worshipped as a god. The fascist Germans and Japanese struggled to maintain their populations. An Englishman named Alfred is on a German pilgrimage. According to official history, Hitler is a tall, blonde god who personally won the war. Alfred is astounded when shown a photograph of Hitler before a crowd. He's shocked that Hitler was a small man with dark hair and a paunch. And Alfred's discovery may mean his death. For reasons I could go into in this video, because I'm not talking about politics, obviously, this does sound somewhat appropriate to 2017 as of this moment. So this does sound quite an interesting one, and one that I would probably try and read fairly soon if I can. It really does sound like it's got some pretty interesting and appropriate ideas in it. The 7th book is Floating Worlds by Cecelia, Holland. This is one that has actually been on my Amazon wishlist for about 5 or 6 years now, and nobody ever seems to buy it for some reason. They buy me everything else other than this one. So now, thanks to God and Stevie, I finally got it. The only thing is that, because of how long it's been on my Amazon wishlist, I actually can't remember why I originally wanted to own it for. Other than obviously it must have been an interesting book, and I'll quickly read the back. The Styfs, a powerful and aggressive mutant race from Uranus and Saturn, have been launching pirate raids on ships from Mars. Earth's Committee for the Revolution has been asked to negotiate a truce between the Middle Planets and the Styf Empire. The task falls to the resourceful and unpredictable Paula Mendoza. Her initial meetings with the stiff warlord don't go well until she adopts an unconventional approach. So this is a book exploring diplomacy by the sound of it, and obviously using a science fiction setting to talk about politics and the way countries and societies interact. So it should sound and be an interesting book ultimately when I've read it, which I have no idea when that will be. The final two books are the two that I actually met the author of and got signed only 2 weeks ago, and that is The Time Ships by Stephen Baxter and The Massacre of Mankind, also by Stephen Baxter. Now, this one is part of the award-winning book project as well, which won an award in 1996, and that would be the Philip K. Dick Award. This is the authorised sequel to H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. Frankly, I'm not going to talk about that book because The Time Machine is extremely well known. It's a scientist who creates a time machine, goes forwards in time an incredibly long way, and humanity is now split between these two sort of evolved or de-evolved factions. One of them is really innocent and non-violent, and the other is below ground and they're like weird mutant things. And this is brand new, actually, and this is the authorised sequel to The War of the Worlds, also by H.G. Wells. Now, I actually got to obviously talk to Stephen Baxter, of course, and got the sign. I was trying to show you the signature. And I was really happy to go to that book signing and talk to Baxter again. I actually met him and got him to sign another book less than 6 months ago in September. So this is now the second time I've met and spoken to him, and it won't be the last because actually I'll probably speak to him towards the end of this year, I suspect, as well, which is going to be interesting, meeting him the same over 3 times in 1 year. And because the book signing was fairly empty at that exact moment when I went, there's only one other person there, and he went about a minute after I got there. I was able to speak to him for about a good 10 minutes maybe, and frankly I spoke to him about an awful lot of things. Obviously I spoke to him about the Massacre of Mankind, which was obviously the point of his book signing sort of tour around several different UK cities and bookshops. And I've got to talk to him about obviously H.G. Wells as well, obviously, because this is obviously based on a Wells book. And just that conversation with him was just really fun, because I talked to him about so many different things, about why he wrote The Massacre of Mankind, why he wrote The Time Ships, what I thought of several of his other books, what of H.G. Wells' books I did not like, and actually agreed, by the way, my least favourite H.G. Wells book is The First Men in the Moon, and that's actually his least favourite of H.G. Wells as well. And indeed, the thing that I said to him, which he definitely agreed with and said everybody thinks it, is the fact that in that book, basically a scientist invents anti-gravity paint which allows you to go to the moon. And he said even at the time, a lot of us major authors really had issues with that particular part of the book, because anti-gravity paint, really, and it's the most moronic thing I've ever heard in the book, frankly. And it really, it made the book almost impossible to enjoy because it's just so stupid, frankly. But I'm just really happy that I met him again and actually was able to talk to him for such a long time. I mean, I talked to him about science fiction in general. I also mentioned BookTube to him, and and he was well aware of what BookTube was. I expect because obviously his publisher, well, one of his publishers is obviously Gollant, therefore Stevie. And indeed, one of the questions that he asked me when I said I knew the publisher was, "Oh, do you know Stevie?" I was like, "Yeah, just a bit, because she was the one that sent me this book." So that was quite sort of funny as well. And Stevie, if you're watching, Stephen Baxter did say that he would try, if he can remember, to mention it to you. So whether he has or not, I can't say. But that's just I just love that book signing, I really did. It was the best sort of meeting of an author I could personally envisage, because I just got to talk to him uninterrupted, nobody else around, and I just had to talk to him about everything relating to science fiction, frankly. And it's just really fun. I mean, basically that's the highlight of January overall, and it really was just brilliant, that was that day. I mean, it was like 10 minutes and it's fantastic. I really can't say how much I enjoyed it more than that. Anyway, so that's it for this book haul. If you've read any of these books or would like to, then please let me know. Also, if you've been to a book signing and you've met and had a good chance to talk to an author about whatever, let me know which author and what sort of things you talked about with them, because frankly, now that I've met several authors in the last 6 months, I'm now far more eager to meet other authors and have a really good conversation with them about their books, indeed their genre in general. All my social media links can be found in the description box below, as they always are. And that is it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.